Sacked. Brutal. Right, so just before I get into the video, so this was filmed back in June, we're now in November, so I'm editing the video now. And I just want to mention a few things just before you actually watch it through. So, as I say in the video, this is my first ever phone call, my first ever job that I got. And ultimately I charged less than what I would charge now. There's a few issues with this garden in the first place. Obviously, I just wanted to get the first customer under my belt at the time. Charged 20 quid, potted around the garden, cut the grass. Grass took 5 minutes. If I was to do it again, I would probably say I'm only willing to cut the grass. I do charge a minimum of £20. Tiny postage stamp lawns, £15. I've got 2 of them, so this probably would have been that one. It's in the area, so it's on me round 15 quid in and out. But as I say in the video, there were other issues as well. So yes, as you'll hear as talk about the garden, you'll probably say, yeah, too cheap. Yes, 100% I agree, and I wouldn't be doing it again. So I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you stay around to the end and subscribe and like the video and all the rest of it, and enjoy. So I've been let go by a customer. It's the first time, and there's a couple of things I want to say before I get into the video. So the first one, thought someone's going to knock on the door there. They're not, they're just walking past. So the first one is that it's par for the course when you're doing this kind of business. I expected it, and it just so happened that I got a new regular yesterday, which is, if you're comparing the two gardens, it's more money, it's a better garden. It's just a grass cut, this one, yesterday. So replaced it with a better one, and that's obviously going to be the pattern going over, you know, as we go through the months and years and things. Let a few go, probably get released by a few, and hopefully the ones you acquire are good solid gardens for a good price. I've got no qualms whatsoever with that customer. I do want to get into a few bits about that particular garden and customer in a second, but I wish her well. Obviously got no issues. I said it's your money, it's entirely your choice what you do with it, and I wish you well, all the best kind of thing. Genuinely, that's no problem whatsoever. So ironically, that garden is my cheapest garden maintenance garden, because she's got a postage stamp lawn, and there's a few bits to do, but it was my first ever phone call, my first ever job I got, and if I was to get a garden like that now, I wouldn't do it, because as I say, the lawn is tiny. It takes not even 5 minutes, and every time you go, there's not, I wouldn't say there's enough work to justify a good chunk of time every visit. So sometimes I've stayed there, I've been there an hour. She's got one tree which needs a little trim every now and again, a few little bushes. She's got a few rose bushes in the pots. She does all the watering and stuff like that, so you know, I've just cut them back, pruned them, and obviously that's only needed once. There's some bluebells, get rid of the foliage, that's only needed once. So it's £20 I charged her. Right at the start, she questioned that once, I think at the end of last year, although she used to give us a couple of quid tip as well, so she couldn't have been that kind of bothered, but she obviously was. So yeah, so she said she used to have a gardener down south, and he used to charge, let's get this right, £16 for 2 hours. And I said to her at the time, I said, right, so that's like £8 an hour. I said, I can't run a business on £8 an hour, there's absolutely no way. And she said, okay, yeah, that's fine, no problem. And we carried on, and nothing else was said. That was one of my gardens that I was going to let go next season. The reason why I didn't let her go this season was because her grandson sadly had passed away, and he wasn't very old, and the family had a lot on, and I just thought, because I think her son used to cut a lawn and stuff, and I just felt a little bit bad because he wasn't probably going to be able to do that, and I thought, well, that's, you know, the last thing she needs is having to worry about the garden. So I said, I said to my girlfriend, I said I'll keep her for a year, and then next year I'll let her go when, you know, I've got more customers and stuff like that. But she's got in there first and let me go. So she said on the phone, basically, she said, I've been talking to a few friends, and I can get. She's an elderly woman. Just for some context, I don't know what that really matters, but there we are. The access was an issue as well. I didn't like the access. It was through the garage, and that was one of the ones that I'm restricted to time-wise. So again, that's a plus. It was always 1 o'clock, and sometimes I'd be sat around for 10-15 minutes occasionally. I'd maybe do a video so the time totally wasn't wasted, like. But yeah, so it was one of those through the garage. She had to be there. She didn't want to give us a key, and it was just one of the things that I sometimes talk about that I don't particularly like doing. You're a bit too restricted. Personally, that's obviously only my opinion. And she said, yeah, she's been talking to a few friends, and they said there's a gardener who charges £20 for 2 hours. Obviously that's £10 an hour. She told us that on the phone, and I said, right, well, that's, as I say, that's absolutely fine. I can't run a business on £10 an hour. Go for it, like, all the best. And I think I've got a rough idea of who this person might be. I think he's an elderly gentleman who, I think he does a little bit of work. He must do a little bit of work for the council, because he cuts some kind of communal council hedges and stuff. I don't know. I'm not, but I could be wrong there. Like, but anyway, the bottom line is I kind of do that £10 an hour. I said anyway, I said a couple of times to her, my rate isn't an hourly rate. I said sometimes I'll stay a bit longer, sometimes it's a bit shorter. But that was the problem, and that's why I wouldn't do this a similar garden, because once you've done the grass, that's like 5-10 minutes, and the bushes don't need trimming every time. You know, the rose bushes don't need pruning every time. They might need a dead heading a little bit, which takes a couple of minutes, but there's genuinely not enough. There's definitely not an hour's work there every time. And personally speaking, I don't want to get me more out and mess about and lug it in and out and do it for a tenner a go on a tiny garden like that. I've got a couple of £15 ones, but I think only 2, and my minimum really is 20 quid. Certainly going to be going forward, and yeah, it's one of those. I always felt a little bit awkward getting the 20 quid offer, especially when I hadn't done much. Yeah, I'm glad it's a silver lining, really, like, to be fair. But that's the problem, say. So, like, that's what I want to talk about as well. So these times are really difficult. You've got the cost of petrol, fuel, and all the gas and electric absolutely skyrocketing. We're in midsummer, by the way, mid-June, so when this video comes out, it'll probably be the back end of the year, because I've got loads on schedule to come out before this. But so God knows what the prices are going to be like when this video comes out. But that's the problem. So people are cutting back. For some, gardeners are a luxury. Others are, you know, I'd say we're a bit more of a necessity. But yeah, it's tough. It's easy to say, like, you know, put your prices up. I do pricing videos, and for those of you who don't know the channel, and a lot of you guys agree with my price. Obviously, it varies from area to area, you know, whether you employ staff. Me pricing videos are just ballpark figures, primarily catered for people who are just getting into gardening, just to give them a very rough idea of what, you know, they could charge. Obviously they're not gospel. I make mistakes. Yeah, obviously you can imagine I get all the comments on the spectrum with regards to me pricing videos, so that's obviously interesting to read through as well. So but that's the thing, you know, a lot of people say it's you know, put your prices up. Times are hard. You might not win every job if you're too expensive. That being said, our prices costs are going up. We need to maintain a standard of living. It's extremely hard to get that balance, and we can just do what we can, you know, keep learning. I like doing these videos. It creates a little community where we can kind of bounce ideas off each other. and you know, see what other people are charging, that kind of thing really. So I'm going to leave it there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I never ask, I always forget. I've got a wide range of videos and topics, and I have my allotment as well. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the comments, I really do. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Thanks a lot, take care, bye.